here with wonderful Lisa today. And today's topic is healthy marriage. And
Yes.
when I thought about this, I said, well, the perfect person to invite is Lisa. Oh, let me
Oh,
see. Okay. So, healthy marriage, love that grows, nurturing a happy and sustainable relationship. And this is something very how do I say, it's something very important to me. And marriage has been such a mystery for me for a long period of time. I don't know how it was, the image, how the marriage image was for you, Lisa. But I was in the single, I was single and looking for my partner for a long period of time. And marriage and long-term relationship was such a mystery. Like, how would two complete individual can keep this harmonious, sustainable, loving relationship for, long period of time. And yeah, it's been just a mystery. And I was just very curious how this kind of relationship works. And of course, each couple is very different.
mhm.
And I have been with my husband for 10 years now and married for 8 years. And my relationship has been very strong and steady. And it's been better and better. Almost every single day, it just gets better and better. And I didn't have anyone like me or this kind of relationship around me. So I guess I'm just kind of putting myself to share, definitely not to show off. This was just, um, I guess I'm just doing this uh, to reach out to Kiko maybe 20 years ago or maybe 30 years ago to share that this kind of relationship does exist and it is definitely possible, and what I am doing in a relationship to make it work. And I have invited Lisa because I think she's in the same on the same boat. So welcome, Lisa.
Oh, thank you, Kiko. It's so awesome to be here. And thank you for inviting me for this. Um, uh, Nate and I have an absolutely magical relationship. Like, it's heaven every day. Like you said, it gets better every day. Every day is just heavenly. And um, he's my third husband. So I was
Oh
married
wow!
twice. Yeah, I was married twice before.
Oh my God! I knew you were married before, but I didn't know this is the third one. Oh, third time the
Yeah,
charm.
exactly. And I was in some other longer term relationships as well that were leading towards engagement, but didn't end up working out. Um,
Lisa is a
so,
popular woman.
uh, yeah, so when I met Nate, it was sort of unexpected. And I think that's something that, like, when we're searching and searching and searching and searching, sometimes it doesn't come because we're
Yeah.
like, we put out this kind of like, I'm not desperate. I mean, some people might have that desperation kind of a
Mhm.
vibration. Um, and it's understandable if you're feeling alone and you really want someone, but with the desperation attraction, you sometimes just attract someone, not necessarily
Mm.
someone who resonates with you, just to kind of be like your partner in life kind of thing. But you don't necessarily resonate like you would if you found that person who is, who checks all the boxes, right? So to
Mm.
speak. And I was not looking for Nate. Um, I had been just like posting on YouTube. I wrote my first 30 days to raw kind of a meal plan. And I was just sharing and helping people, just doing my thing. And he had purchased my book on Amazon, the print version, and he went raw and changed his life. And then we got in contact because he reached out to one of my friends, and my friend was like, "Oh, you need to interview this guy for your YouTube channel." So we set up an interview, and I was just like in love, like right away. I was like,
Oh,
"Oh, how is
really?
this?"
First?
Yeah. As soon as I
Oh,
saw him, I was like, "Oh, I'm in trouble." But, at the time, I just met him, and like I didn't know much about him. I knew that my friend Jack, who got us in connection, had a really long conversation with him, and I knew a little bit about him, but not a lot. And I was living in Canada, and
right.
he was in the United States. So in my mind, it was like, how would this even work if it was to be a thing, right? But I was just like immediately like just like enamored with him on our Zoom call, and I messaged him the next day. We would started chatting, became like super close friends, and then we started flirting. And yeah, we met in person in 2018, and then we dated for about a year and a bit, but it was right away. Like within a couple of months, we met with a lawyer to see how I could come to the United States and get married. Like we decided like
Mhm.
right away that that's what it was going to be, because that was really the way that we were going to be together. Because, we could have done the long distance thing, and we did while we were waiting for the visa and all that paperwork and stuff. It took so long, but it was worth it. And it was just such a different kind of relationship that
Mm.
from something that I've never experienced before. And I think also being older too, because like you said, you'd been with your husband for 10 years. And would you say married for 8?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So we've been together for 8 years and married for 6. So just 2 years behind you. And being older, I feel like we
Mm.
both came to the relationship knowing who we were, and we'd already worked through a lot of stuff. We already were different kinds of people, and we kind of were in a place where we knew what we wanted. So when we
Mm.
came together, it was a little bit more stable, I guess, if that would be a
Mm.
good word. And also Nate is very he has a really good balance between the feminine and the masculine, right? Like, because
Mhm.
he doesn't hide his emotions. He's very open and honest. He shares a lot, and he's not scared to go there emotionally. Like if he,
Mm.
and there's a lot of people I've been with in the past who had issues dealing with emotions, or even reacting
Mhm.
towards my emotions, right? And Nate and I have learned a lot together through the years on how to just be there for each other instead of
Mhm.
always having to give advice, which is really hard to do because
Mhm.
that's just something we do as people. If someone comes to you and is like, "I'm having a sad day," you're like, "Well, did you go for a walk? Did you do this? Did you blah, blah, blah?" And sometimes the
Mhm.
person just wants to vent. Like they don't want advice. They already know what they should be doing. They already know why they're sad, but they just want to be sad, like be in the hole with me,
Mhm.
right? Like just say, "Yeah, that sucks," instead of trying to explain it or fix it or whatever, because the
Mhm.
person who's experiencing the turmoil or whatever they're going through just needs someone to be there with them.
Mhm.
And if they want advice, then they'll ask for it.
Mhm.
So something that really helps us is that if one of us feels like we do need to vent, or that we're having a bad day, or
Mhm.
something bothered us, would just be like, "I just need to vent. I don't need advice. I just want you to listen." So we just sit,
Mhm.
and then we just say all the things we need to say, and then we're like,
Yeah.
"I feel better. I just needed you to be there in the crap with me,"
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think the
and that's been really
maturity, yeah, you were
Mhm.
mentioning about going through different relationship and being mature. That makes a huge difference
Mhm.
in a relationship as well. That's very interesting. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that's okay.
But I wanted to mention also like why I wanted to have this conversation with Lisa, who has been on the raw food journey, just like me. You have been fully raw, and I have been on the high raw journey just around the same time, I think. And
2014-ish.
uh, I started in 2004.
Mm.
Yeah, 2004. And but then yeah, I have been on the high raw journey. You have been committed fully raw for 2000, over 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And why some people might feel it's kind of why on this raw food channel, uh, I, I I wanted to share this on this channel because when I discovered raw vegan journey, well, when I started this raw vegan journey, I I learned that this mutual connection, mutual love of food and myself. So like before, I used to just eat whatever I was craving, and I just felt good. But then I don't know, the cheesecake made me feel at the instance, right? I was living in New York City, the New York cheesecake, and I felt terrible, after,
Hmm.
but I was addicted to that kind of, adrenaline.
Hmm.
And then the relationship is the same, especially in my relationship in New York time was like all about addiction. It was this I just feel good, like there's like a very passionate connection, but there's no long-term respect.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that relationship and food is very similar to me. So I wanted to bring this topic on my channel, and share. It's not about our health in overall. It's not just about food, but
Hmm.
who we surround with, and whether you're married or not. It's very important that you have a respectful environment. Uh,
Hmm.
and there are so many single people in this world who might be wondering what it is. And yeah, I just wanted to share what kind of relationship, we have, and that's possible. And I just love listening to your, I just love listening and hearing about your relationship with Nate, how you're building up, right? Because it is like, you know, I don't know, ping pong or playing tennis, back and forth, and you're just building your relationship. So you were mentioning how different it was from the previous relationship. You want to share how it is different now?
Yeah. So we've been like really kind of diving deep into um, teal swan. We
Yes.
mentioned it on a past women's podcast with Sky Conway, which was
Mhm.
really awesome. And Teal Swan, if people listening don't know, check her out on YouTube, Teal Swan. She has a lot of relationship stuff. And what we have started to really embody is the clamshell or the containment idea. And it's not about being controlled, it's about being safe. And
Mm.
so she talks about the clam being the man, or the man in the masculine energy in the relationship. You have your clam, and then you have the pearl on the inside, which is the woman. And so the pearl needs to be protected by the clam, and that's containment by saying that the man needs to protect his pearl. So that involves, respecting her, treating her
Mm.
as she's the chosen one, she's the queen, just to give her that safety. And thus, with
Mm.
that safety, we can explore our divine feminine without feeling so um so much in survival mode, because most women, if not all women, we have this generational trauma of constantly questioning or wondering or worrying or in
Mm,
survival mode, right? Like I remember when I first got married to my second husband, um, we signed a prenup before, and the lawyer who was talking to me, because he arranged the prenup and everything, and the lawyer to me said, just in case, she's like, I am here to give you advice, and I don't want to say like your marriage is going to fall apart or anything, but if it does, make sure that you have your own separate bank account and,
mm,
put money aside just in case something happens. And it was just like, looking back on that in my life, it really contributed to that reinforcement that you're never safe. You're never safe in a relationship, because what if they leave? What if this happens? What if he doesn't love
mm,
you anymore? And what if all of this stuff? And if he's angry, he's going to leave you or whatever. Like, you're always under this kind of like low key back end worry, nervous, anxious state, because you just don't know. So you
mm,
can't feel fully safe in a relationship unless the person you're in the relationship with makes you feel safe and
mhm,
gives you that trust and gives you that respect and gives you that reassurance that everything's going to be okay and that you are chosen, right? And
mm,
that you are protected. So when we're going for walks or what have you, like Nate always walks on the side of the road where the cars are coming. And like we have this thing where
mm,
if we get to a sidewalk where he has to be on the other side, he'll be like, switch. And we switch
mm,
ways. Just like these little things that remind me that I'm his pearl and he's
mm,
protecting me and he's doing these things for my protection, which
mm,
allows me to finally feel safe in
mm,
a relationship. Like, I've never felt like this before. I've always
mm,
had that little back voice saying, something could happen, like,
oh,
you better be prepared just in case. Because
interesting. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so yeah, like I said, this is the first time I've ever had that kind of a relationship with that level of respect and
Mm,
care. So it's very different. And it's interesting because we're not used to that kind of treatment,
very
right?
interesting.
Hmm.
May I share my side?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I have a bunch of questions for you, but
Yeah.
um, with my husband, it's a different, and each couple is different, and I think you need to know what you want in a relationship, and it might not be
Hmm.
clear until you go into that relationship, because you have to dance with that personality, right? Each person, yeah, you have to dance and find a harmony with that person.
Hmm.
And with my husband, the relationship has been amazing, but I have to tell you, when we got married after 2 years of our relationship, both of us were never really about marriage, uh,
Hmm.
but I wanted to get married because I was living in France with my husband, and I didn't feel safe in France. Like, there are so many things that I just felt, yeah, unsafe about being in living in France. And I was the one who wanted to get married. And after getting married, I felt so safe that our relationship even got like deeper and much better. Like, and yeah, so eh, the approach might be different from how you work with you and Nate, but when you mentioned about the safety, it could
Hmm.
be in so many ways. Marriage alone, the piece of paper might not change, but action is the most important thing, right? I mean, of course, my husband is I feel complete safety with him.
Hmm.
Like, there's no doubt of what if that happens. Of course, I do. Anything could happen. It's not, nothing is guaranteed. We might
Right.
have an
Yeah.
accident, and he might leave this world anytime. So
Hmm.
I feel like I'm ready. I have that ready, or I have that in mind that you know we are never guaranteed to be together.
Right.
The rest of our life. But yeah, it's interesting. And my question to you was, this is the third marriage, right? So were you ever, did you ever think that, okay, this is it, I'm not gonna get married?
No, I wouldn't say that I thought that. I mean, I did. Now, like if I like that you said that nothing's guaranteed, because nothing is guaranteed, of course.
Mm.
But feeling that safety that it's, if something does happen, it wouldn't be, because of me or, like I feel safe in who I am. Um, if something were to happen to Nate and he also left this world, I probably wouldn't get married again. That's just my own choice that I would. Um,
Mhm.
and not, I just, I don't know. I feel like it's the epitome of love. Like I couldn't imagine, um, living life with anyone else. Like it's
Mm.
Nate or no one, kind of.
Okay,
You know what I
so
mean?
you were married twice before, but you didn't
Hmm.
have like, oh, marriage is something that's not gonna work for me. You didn't have that kind of, because some people have really bad marriage, and you know
Hmm.
maybe they were perfect when they were a couple, and when they got married, things fell apart. I know some of my friends, their dynamic of relationship changed after getting married, after
Hmm.
having kids, and so never again, because it just changed the whole dynamic. Just for me, we got our relationships just got better.
Yeah, I would say that with Nate and I as well.
uh
It just was like it's a deeper, it's more energetic than,
mm,
like you said, it's not the piece of paper, it's the commitment, it's the
yeah.
safety, it's the joining, it's the
Mm,
union, it's the sacredness of being
mm,
together, and it's like merging your lives in more ways than one.
mm,
And I always loved that. And I would say I'm kind of like on the fence. I was
mm,
with marriage, like it was awesome, but it wasn't essential.
mm,
Because you just choose to be with each other, right? Like you
mm,
don't need the paper, but like I feel like it adds some kind of a depth because you go through this
mm,
celebratory kind of, a moment where you make that commitment, and it's said and it's felt and it's real because you
mm.
have, the wedding or whatever.
Yeah,
um it's more real that way, I guess. And some people
yeah.
are scared of that, which is
Mhm.
understandable, especially if you've been in past relationships that were really bad or what have you.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel the same with you. Like I feel it just got better. And it gets better every day. Like every day we wake
Yeah.
up and we look at each other and we're like, I am so grateful for you. You are amazing. We say it like a million times a day to each other. Like, we love our life. Our life is amazing. You are amazing. And so we're like speaking these affirmation words every
Yeah.
single day into the universe. So, and also like whenever I say things like that to Nate, like sometimes he works in the office, which is on the other side of our place, and
Mhm.
I'm out here in the living room. And sometimes we'll just randomly out of the blue yell across the house, be like, I love you. And then the other one will say, I love you. Just like randomly. But whenever I say anything like that to him or I look at him, I just feel like I am the luckiest, the
Mm,
most blessed woman to have this with you.
mm,
And it just makes me feel kind of like when we first started dating, like
mm.
butterflies. And just like, I also think like, how would I react to certain things? And obviously we're always working on how we react with our partners. And other people, right? It's always an ongoing process. But I always like
Mm,
in the back of my head, I'm like, how would I treat him if when we were first dating? You know,
mm,
like I don't want to be irritable or whatever, you know, and
mm,
I want to try to treat him like when we were first dating
mm,
because I wouldn't respond in a way that I might think I would or what have you. And I think the diet really does help with
mm,
the healthy relationships as well, because in the past with my past relationships, maybe not the one right before Nate because I was raw the whole time. But I was also coming out of an 8-year marriage, actually 12-year marriage. I don't even remember now.
You're
I
like,
think it was
use
8
that
years.
best, Lisa.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't remember, but I was just coming out of that my longer term marriage and moving into a shorter term relationship that I had when I was raw. But I feel like that was more like reboundy kind of. I was
Mm,
looking for safety because I was alone and you know all that stuff. But in the previous ones before that, I was not raw. I would try raw and I would eat a lot of junk food, animal
mm,
products, all of that stuff. And I felt like I was much more irritable as a person.
yes.
Especially the more ultra processed foods I ate, the more irritable I was. And I didn't like who I was while I was eating
Mm,
those foods, even though those foods were what I believe, like I should treat myself, you
yeah.
know, or I had a long day, I deserve this. It's easy, it's convenient, my friends are eating it, whatever, right? All of those
Mm,
justifications we use. But I didn't like who I was. I was very irritated with everything and everybody. And I
mm,
didn't treat people the way I would in
mm,
my natural state of Lissa,
yes.
you know? So
Mm,
after going raw, I really realized that. And I healed a lot after my long-term marriage. Um, I came out of that marriage feeling the lowest self-esteem, even though I had lost 70 pounds. I had changed my life. I had been about a year and a half raw at the time that we split up. And I had lost all the weight. My skin had cleared up. You would think, looking in, that I would have had the most confidence because I
mm,
looked the part. But deep down inside, that was the lowest point that my self-esteem ever was after that relationship.
mm,
Because I felt like nothing I did was good enough. I wasn't a good enough wife. I didn't clean the way I should have. I didn't say the right things. I snored and he'd kick me out of the bed. You know, like just even the littlest things, I felt like I was not good enough to be a wife. So, you know, I was messy or I didn't, yeah, there's just like so many things that happen. And, you know, there would be blame and it would be put on me, or like what I was not doing or what have you as to like for his mood. So if he was having a bad day, it was because I didn't clean the dishes. If he went through a traumatic thing, it was because I wasn't doing something or whatever. So I came out of that relationship feeling very like the lowest self-esteem that I had ever felt. So coming out of that,
mm,
that's probably why I started a relationship with somebody who didn't align with who I was, even though I'd been raw for a year and a half. He was a meat eater. He drank a lot of alcohol. He did recreational drugs and he was a nice guy, but he did not align with who I envisioned myself with. And I had written, so my ex and I, um, we remained friends for a little bit after our divorce because we'd been friends since we were in high school. So, you know, he
mm,
was a really big part of my life. And we remained friends for a little bit after. And he sent me a message. This was right before I got with the guy before Nate. And he sent me a message with a YouTube link to someone who made a list of everything that she wanted in her person. And she manifested this person, her partner, down to the job he had and the car he drove. I was like, whoa, that's, you know, and he messaged in this message, he was like, do this so that this doesn't happen again. Basically, meaning like, so that you find the person that you're meant to be with, and you don't have to go through this again. And so I wrote out a list of everything that I wanted in a future partner, my my
Mhm.
one, right? Like, who did I want? And I was writing down kind of like how he looked, and I was like, I kind of like hippie, but I also like metro. So I'm gonna write metro hippie on it, right?
Uh-huh.
I even wrote like man bun because I do like that. And mountainy, outdoorsy, like all the stuff. So I wrote it out and I signed it and dated it and I put it away. I didn't like look at it every day like some people do. I just wrote it out and I put it in a drawer. Then I met the guy before Nate, and he wasn't um, the list. I also wrote raw vegan on there and everything. So the guy I was with was not on the list. So I kind of hid the list from him because I didn't want him to ever find it and be like, "Oh, I'm not the list," you know. Um, but after we split up and I started dating Nate, um, I was talking to him when we like first were flirting and getting together. I was like, I really like your style. And he's like, I'm a metro hippie. And I was like, who uses that term? I was like, I thought I was the only one who came up with that term. So I went looking for that list. It took like a couple hours of digging
Oh,
through old
wow.
boxes, but I found the list and I sent it to him and it was like to a T everything that Nate was.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, and I was mind blown because I wrote that list like maybe 2 years before I even met Nate.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it was really powerful. And to this day, it's like it's crazy because it's like I manifested him, but he manifested me too in his own way. So we
Wow.
like
Okay.
manifest each other.
That's super interesting. I want to comment on a few things that you mentioned. So
Hmm.
I love that you mentioned about previous relationship, and how you mentioned also that you don't think you would ever get married if anything happened.
Hmm.
And I totally agree with you. I mean, I feel exactly the same. And why so is that it's just it's just not worth sharing your life if it's not for someone so special, right?
Hmm.
It's just it's so important to have our dignity in our life, and
Hmm.
being with the wrong person, it could lead us to to the downfall. It's just
Yeah.
I feel, I think, the biggest message that I want to send to single ladies or single men who are looking, it's just on yourself. Just enjoy
Hmm.
your life, and it's someone who meant to be will come, in
Hmm.
perfect timing, and yeah, it needs to be patient. But I have been just like you. I have never been married. This is my first marriage, but I have been in a very serious long-term relationship, in a engagement, and I was always in a my personality. I have to be in love, you know, and I was always in a relationship, and
Hmm.
I have to share that it's just not worth it. For if
Hmm.
it's not working, and um, you know if you're not in a relationship with a mutual respect,
Hmm.
that brings you joy and makes you feel that you're the luckiest person, it's the relationship is not worth it. And
Hmm.
I think that's probably the biggest message that I want to share on this podcast, that go enjoy your life. Just
Hmm.
relationship is not the only thing on this earth, and you can have the best life just being
Hmm.
yourself. But if you decide to be in a relationship, choose wisely. And
Yes.
the list that you mentioned, that's very interesting, because I've done exactly the same. I have
Hmm.
listed everything I wanted in my relationship, everything I wanted from this person, and I have manifested. And my version was the relationship before my husband,
Hmm.
and he had exactly everything I have listed out, but the feeling was not there. So
Hmm.
he was raw foodist. He was living in Hawaii. He was like, he wanted to go into this raw food business, and he was doing yoga, meditation, and like honestly, everything I wrote on my list, he had it. And I was just stunned. But when I was with him, the relation, I felt like my energy was sucked in
Mm.
and I was drained.
Mhm.
So it's important. It's great to do that list,
Mhm.
manifest that Nate and, happily married. But you have to also go with your feeling,
Yes,
So, he,
exactly.
he might have, you know, he might be so rich, handsome, whatever, And if you don't feel right in your heart, the heart
Mhm.
feeling is so important. So, yeah, again, it's if you are looking for your partner, lifelong partner, it's important that you, you know, go for 100%. No need to go, oh, this is the best I can get for now.
Mhm.
Don't settle for less, because a lot of people told me, Kiko, if you're waiting for the perfect man, you're never gonna find it. you know,
Mm.
a lot of people thought that I was lesbian because I'm not, I haven't, you know,
Mm.
I had a late marriage. And, a lot of people just kind of say something not nice that, oh,
Mm.
you're just waiting for the right, the perfect person. And he would never arise and he would never come. And I have to tell, my husband is so much better than my, wildest dream. He's so much better than the perfect man I have ever imagined. So
Mhm.
that's what you want. I think he's meant to come, but
Yes.
yeah.
I know. It's like when I did the list and then when I got with Nate, it was like he put things on the list that I didn't even know were things I wanted, so in a person. So it was interesting because he just brought so much to the table and I was like, "Oh my gosh. How is this real?" And like I said, we say every day, it's like, "How is this real? How is our life real?" Like this is amazing. Seriously, but it's every day, it's choosing the person. Like every day
Yes.
you wake up and choose that
Mm.
person. Mhm.
So important. And we have Nalari, hi, she said, hi, beautiful, koala mamas. Nalari said, this is so true. Husband is just turning into more work if they're not the right person. Don't be with
Mhm.
someone just to be with someone. Exactly. That's what it is.
Mhm.
There's so many beautiful things in our life. And, I, I tell my husband every day, just like you said, how lucky I am to be with you, how lucky I am to be in a harmonious relationship,
Mhm.
because it's like every single second counts in this lifetime, and it's you have to choose the right person to be with,
Mhm.
right? So I also had in our list, what are the things like, do you have any daily rituals that
Mm.
nurtures harmonious relationship?
Yeah, so some things that we really like doing that are kind of more rituals that we do ongoing. I would say one of the top things that we do together that really bonds us is our weekly hiking. And we don't
Mm.
go hiking every week. We try our best. Some weekends, like this weekend coming up, we've got to film videos for YouTube. So we're skipping out on the hike. But for the most part, we do a lot of hiking and camping and that kind of stuff together. And that really bonds us a lot. Um, like over this summer, I took, more responsibility with like setting up camp and stuff. Like I build the
Mm.
fire now and, I set up the ladder and stuff. So we do things together. So it's a lot faster to set up camp and we're doing it together, right? It's more of an accomplishment, a team
Mm.
thing. So the hikes have been amazing. And also, from the summer. I feel like since the summer, our relationship has hit some kind of like next level, just because we've really grown. And also in perimenopause, which we should probably talk about too, is a
Mm,
lot of women feel like they aren't themselves anymore.
mm,
And I went through a really stressful period before the summer, like during the springtime. I went through a
mm,
lot of stress, just work stress, like nothing bad, just like I felt really heavy. And I feel like during perimenopause,
mm,
we can't handle stress the same way that we used to when we were younger. And I started taking an herbal blend with
mm,
ashwagandha and shatavari and rhodiola to help support my body, right?
mm,
And I've noticed like a great change, like just I feel more stable. Not that I didn't before, but I feel just more so now.
mhm,
And I started walking with the weighted vest
mm.
while Nate he went to Oregon for almost 2 months to like help friends and
Yeah.
family with stuff. And I stayed home because we had our new cat who's just behind me here. We just got our new cat from Mexico, and I wanted to make sure, everything was good. Plus I had a lot of work that I wanted to work on. So I stayed back. And in that time, I started walking with the weighted vest. Actually, I didn't have the weighted vest at that time. I just had a backpack and I put an 8-pound weight in the back. And I was walking anywhere from 2 to 3 hours a day. I would just get up, go for my walk, and then come home and then work. And just, I spent more time with myself. Obviously, Nate and I talked on the phone almost every day.
And I
But
talk to you every day too.
yes, and you did too. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
it
loved
was
my,
yeah,
yeah.
I gave myself a permission to send a message every day to Lisa because it's different when I'm with my husband. Like I'm available for my friends, but when my husband is away, it's a different dynamic. So
Yeah, it's definitely different, right? You're like, you connect with other relationships that you
mm,
have, right? So yeah, it was really nice that you messaged me, and I really connected with my friend Allie, who we didn't really talk a lot over the years, but her husband was away in the military as well at the same
mm,
time.
mm,
So we kept each other company, and I connected with some other girlfriends in Canada and stuff. So I had a good circle around me during that time.
mm,
But I was going for these walks, and I think the walks, for some reason, like just gave me this incredible amount of energy,
yeah.
and I just felt so good because I've never really been consistent with exercise. And I've said this in
Mm,
like a zillion videos that I've never actually been consistent with exercise. I'm really good with the diet. Like
mm,
it's so easy for me and that's what I want. So that's what I choose. It's just like,
mm,
it's my reality. But
mm.
exercise is a little bit more effort. So when I was
Lisa,
doing this,
I'm so proud of you. I mean, you
oh,
said
thank
that,
you.
but I mean, 2, 3 hours. Lisa is a crazy in a good way. She walks 2, 3 hours and she's doing editing on the phone. I mean, you do so much while you're walking, right?
Yeah, and I was connecting with people while I was walking. Yeah, I was editing videos for YouTube while I was walking. And it really changed me. Like I was, like you said, work on
Mhm,
yourself, right? Because when you
mhm,
work on yourself, you become a better person for the person that
mhm,
you're in a relationship with or future relationship with, if you're single. So I was really working on myself. I was like, I'm going to do these exercises. I'm going to get stronger, all this stuff. So then when Nate and I reconnected after he got back from Oregon, it was just like next level awesome. And
mm.
so from there, that's where we started to really cultivate a little bit more. Like we go for walks. We did go for a lot of walks before, but now we're like focused because I want to stick with my, routine that I created. So he
Mhm,
bought us weighted vests, and now he goes
mm.
on, like yesterday we went on a 26,000 step walk. We walked for 3.5 hours yesterday morning, but it's so
Wow.
cool because that's our time to connect to each other and talk and just,
But okay, so
yeah.
how do you do it though? Because I mean, when you were when Nate was away, you got a lot done while you were
Mhm.
walking. So when you are with Nate, you don't do anything or you don't what
Yeah. Yeah, with Nate, we just connect. It's all about being together and chatting and, just telling each other how awesome our life is, kind of stuff.
Yeah, and
Um,
I think it's one of the reason I connect you and I connect with you well is because my husband and I we love hiking, and I get so inspired, how you guys organize long vacation,
mhm,
being fully raw, how you organize your car and how you sleep. Like my husband and I we both love sleeping in the car and traveling around Japan, and we love hiking. I have been a bit too busy, so I need to.
mhm,
I want to organize a little more so that I have, this connection with my husband in nature is
mhm,
so beautiful. And we live in the mountain actually. We live in the city, but we are surrounded by mountains, so it's very easy to go
mm,
hiking. But yeah, and it's very inspiring. It's to see you do this, being fully raw at the same time. So then there are
mm.
not many couple who are doing that.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But it's also fun. It's something, again, it's all about connection. Like, even though, like, we have different things that we like to do, like, I like to paint and watercolor, which I haven't done,
Yes.
which I need to do more of. But
Yeah.
he likes to go mountain biking and snowboarding. And I have gone skiing and I have like all the stuff to do
Mm,
skiing, but it hasn't been part of my life. So it's not, something that I'm super drawn to. I really, I would like to go
mm,
eventually, but when he goes, I like it when he goes with like a buddy or his kids. He
mm,
does like a snowboard trip with his boys in Oregon every February. He'll go
mm,
down there for a weekend and they just go snowboarding. And because I'm new, I don't want to be like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I don't want to take that attention away if he just wants to go on a black diamond run or something that I can't
mm.
do. So even though we have separate, hobbies that we like to do, we always come together with what's really important. Like
Mm,
making the food, planning the trips, going on the trips. Like, we love road trips. We think it's the
mm.
coolest thing, because we get to be in the car for hours together and just talk and listen to
Right.
podcasts. And, we'll put on a book on tape. And
Mm.
every like 10 or 15 minutes, we end up pausing it and talking for 10 to 15 minutes about what we just listened to. So it's so engaging.
Yeah.
And also another ritual, actually a couple rituals that I really want to share really quick. Um, we haven't done it much recently, but Nate bought a massage table that's just in our living room,
Mm.
and every night, when we were doing it, we haven't gotten back to it since our big trips, but we would give each other leg massages.
Oh,
And
okay.
only 10 minutes is just 10 minutes. And 10 minutes feels like a long time when you're getting massage. Like, it's really nice. So we would just set our alarms on our phone and just do a 10-minute leg massage or leg and foot or shoulder, whatever
Mm,
massage to each other. No screens, just connecting with each other at night
mm,
before we would do yin yoga together or something else or whatever. But that was a ritual. Also, making our food together is
mm.
a good ritual too. Like, I'll make the dressing, he makes the salad or what have you. And yeah, it's really nice to have those rituals together where you come and connect more
Yeah.
often
And I
together.
think being in this committed relationship for a long period of time, we also learn how to dance together. Like,
Yeah.
what we are like, for my husband and I, like, we when we live together and we are both busy, we want to do so many things together. So we learn, who would be better to do certain things. Uh,
Hmm.
my husband, I'm always preparing foods, and he'll be cleaning the dishes, and it's just so much nicer. This is definitely the longest relationship, and this is the only relationship that worked for me, even though I have been in like millions of relationship. you know
Hmm.
it it would never work until you find the right one. And I'm really, yeah, I really want to share that this does exist. And Koala Mama asked, do you ever uh have any arguments? Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good
That's a
question.
good question. Yeah, I'll let you go.
Okay, I was thinking about it while I was blow drying my hair, and I was like, we don't have arguments. We
Mm.
have passionate discussions. But they're not like yelling at each other or mad at each other. It's more just like my view is different than his and his is different than
Mm,
mine. And it's not often either. It's usually on just like a
mm,
topic or, if I say something that I believe is right and he's like, "No, it's this way." And I'm like, "But no, like I read this or whatever." And he's like, "No, but this or whatever." It it's more like your own, and then when you realize that you are actually wrong, it's hard to admit that, and you're like, "Oh yeah," it's better to come at any argument with curiosity and
mm,
let yourself just be open to their opinion.
mm,
Whether or not you agree with it is beyond the point. Like, you don't have to agree with everything that anyone ever
mm.
says. Like, I feel like, just with being on social media and YouTube and all the information and opinions that exist out there, we, in this generation, in this time, in 2025, we are exposed to so many different people's opinions, more
Right.
so than we ever have. And I feel like we all feel like we need to be right and we need to have, this is the way it is. But
Mm,
everybody's going to have a different view. Like, they're going to have different glasses on because they were raised differently. They believe
yeah.
different things. Maybe
Mhm.
they resonated with that person when they said that thing that you disagree with. So always coming into it, which is a lot easier said than done for sure. But I
Mhm,
try to just be like curious and just
mhm,
let him talk or let him share. And sometimes that means being silent. And also, like, another thing too, like I mentioned, you always think like, how would I act in this situation if we just started dating? Like,
mhm,
there's no way that I would act the way, I feel like acting or whatever. If you were
mm.
in the beginning of the relationship, and you got to treat it like that and be like, I would be more compassionate. I would be, much more loving. I would listen. I would be more open to what they have to say.
That's so
Um,
important.
yeah.
The respect, no matter
Mm,
how long the relationship, how close the relationship, that's something I value.
hmm
And it is challenging, especially when you're, close to each other and you're seeing each other and you're, because we are so close to each other, we feel more relaxed and
hmm
you might maybe I wasn't getting enough sleep and I'm grumpy, so I might respond a bit differently. But
hmm
it's important, I call my mama was saying that it's great that you can admit that you were wrong,
hmm It's
right?
hard, but
Right.
it's good.
But it's yeah. But has the passionate arguments changed, from the beginning to end to recently? Because for me, I'm much more passionate person than my husband. My husband is very grounding. So that's why I
Mm,
feel like, true yin and yang. And that's why our relationship works really well. And
hmm
I used to be upset uh, and showed a lot more. Now it's like we don't have many arguments. Like arguments, I might be passionately, sharing my opinion, and my
hmm
I will be like, "Mhm." like like a total Buddha statue.
Oh man, right? Yeah, I know it's interesting. I would say we've always been kind of on the same page. We're both very passionate people.
Mm,
And I like that you said sometimes it's like you don't get enough sleep. Usually if we're hungry,
mm,
that's another one. Like, your brain just needs some carbs and then all of a sudden the smiles come. I saw a meme this morning actually, and I'm glad that this popped into my head because I'm like, this would be perfect to talk about with Kiko.
aha,
It was the person said, one thing that really helped our relationship was when we are in an argument, one of us has to recognize that we're in the argument and say, just to remind you, we're each other's best friends. And
Mm,
then she's like, that diffuses it very quickly because it
mm,
really brings back that, like, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to treat you like my best friend because you are.
mm,
So, like,
mm,
how would you move forward with that? But again,
mm,
admitting you're wrong is really hard to do, especially when you're a passionate person and especially when you have a strong opinion about something. But it's also recognizing that your opinion is just your opinion.
yeah,
And you can compromise or work together or agree to disagree because that's always good too. And again, coming together and understanding
mm,
that you both respect each other regardless. So,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, I'm the kind of person who wants things to get done. Like I'm like, let's go, 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 and and in a conversation, I like fast speed. Now
Mhm.
I have changed quite a bit. Thanks to help with my husband. So like in the beginning of our relationship, I used to get, I don't know, kind of agitated that he's not
Mm.
going with the very fast pace like me.
Mhm.
I remember one day I was asking him questions and I just wanted to get going and he just looked at me. Sorry, I'm getting the
The
light.
sunlight.
Yes, like he just looked at me instead of asking me right away, me answering to my question right away. He just looked at me and he just did.
You know what? I love that you shared that because that's another big, big, huge part of a healthy relationship is playing and just
Yes,
just existing as a human,
yes,
and like we
yeah,
all something that's really funny too is like like we all have a body. We all have body fluids and sounds and smells and stuff, like we're all human beings.
yes,
And sometimes we'll look at each other and be like bodies, right? And just like laugh at who we are as humans. And just
yeah.
finding ways to laugh is
Yeah,
so
and
important.
yeah, definitely. And after when he did, that he just makes me laugh. And I was
Mhm.
serious, and I think I was asking question that I thought it was, you know, important, and he just it made me realize that don't take your life so seriously. I mean,
Mm.
whatever. Just do it in a very gentle way, and
Yeah.
we laugh so much that
Mm.
we think that our neighbors must be thinking that we are crazy people, like retarded people who just make noise like teenager.
Right. I know. Sometimes when we're doing classes in our school community, Nate, there was one class that we did and I was laughing so hard. I was almost peeing my pants. It was so hilarious. I was just like, he makes me laugh so good. And just like sometimes he'll hop into character. And that's something actually that we've been doing with Chef AJ is every
Mm.
Tuesday we do improv classes together.
Now? Oh,
So
you've been doing
yeah,
this?
now
Oh,
we've been doing it for probably about the summertime. Since maybe
okay.
like August, Chef AJ really wanted me to join the improv classes. So she has like these improv classes. And I was really hesitant because I'm not that type of a person. Like,
Mm,
even though I do YouTube videos and stuff, I'm just talking to a screen. Like I'm not, interacting on that kind of a level where I have to like make stuff up or be funny, like so I
mm,
was very nervous about joining, but she really wanted me to, and I love Chef AJ, so I was like, okay, I'll come to a class. So I came to a class and I actually really enjoyed it, even though I was like sweating buckets because I was so nervous. I enjoyed it. And so I went to the
Lisa could be nervous. I would have never
Oh my
imagined.
gosh. Yeah, I was just like sweating buckets. But then I went the next week and it was even better. I was like, okay, this is cool and it's fun. It's just like games. You're making stuff up and you can't get it wrong. Like our teacher is really cool. He gives you like a mistake card that renews indefinitely. You can use it anytime you want, and you don't have to be funny. Like, you just say whatever comes out of your mouth and just have fun. It's about having fun. So I
Mm.
did a few classes just myself, and then I was like, Nate has to join. He's going to be hilarious in here. So he started joining. So now we do it. We look forward to it every Tuesday. We get improv
Oh,
class, and
okay.
it's so much fun to laugh together. So
So this
wonderful.
there are many people online, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
Chef AJ has a group of people. There's usually anywhere from like 8 to 12 or 14 people in the class at any
Mm,
time. And like, you pay for the classes, and the teacher
mm,
teaches, and he gives you like insights, and we always kind of like build on, what we learned last week and stuff like that. But it's really fun to do that. And I do like suggest for relationships to find something that you can explore together,
mm,
something novel, something new that you
yeah.
neither of you have done before, like
Mm,
pottery class or dance class or improv class or whatever it
mm,
is, and do something weekly together that creates those new neural pathways, and
mm,
it really can enrich your life and enrich your weeks, and you get to do it together and then talk about it after. It's
mm,
really fun. I do recommend that. And another thing that I really wanted to mention before I forget, something that we've been doing for years and has been one of my most favorite things that we do together, is every once in a while, either one of us will go up to each other, whether they're in the kitchen or office or whatever, and we open our arms and say moment. All we say is moment. And that means we take 10, 15, 20 seconds to just hug each other and breathe, and just be with each other for in the chaos. Like, you let the chaos go, and you
mm,
open your eyes and say moment, and immediately the other person knows that is dedicated
mm.
100% focus time on you. And whether it's
Yeah.
5 seconds or even 30 seconds or whatever, or even a minute, you
Mm,
just spend the time hugging and just like being with the person. And you just take that moment. That's why we call it a moment. And that's been something that we've been doing for years, and we still do. We even had a moment this morning. It's like, just like
mm.
a moment, I just want to hug you. So
Yeah,
that's
we
really
don't have
helpful
the
too.
word, but my husband and I do the same thing, and it's so important to just be now,
Hmm.
just enjoy the
Hmm.
moment together.
Hmm.
It's beautiful. Well, thank you
Hmm.
so much, Lisa, for sharing this. And this has been so much fun, and
Oh.
I would love to do this again. Already 1 hour we've been speaking, so I would like to close today's podcast on healthy relationship. And yeah, I'm so grateful for our friendship.
Me
And
too.
I get so inspired every time I speak to you. I'm like, what? Like, I like, you're a little intimidating because I feel like
Oh.
where did she find all that time?
You know what? You know what? I will say, I would not have the time and the ability to do everything that I do if it wasn't for the love of my life. He
Mm,
does so much for me and us, for me to be able to do what I do. Like,
mm,
I would not be able to do it without him. So, we are a team, and he's the reason why I can do everything that I do. So, I had to give him
that's
that credit.
beautiful. You've got this solid ground to
Mhm.
fly, right?
Yes, exactly, exactly. I love it. And also being fully supportive of each other as well, right? Like,
Mm,
not trying to rush each other into whatever goals or dreams that we're trying to achieve.
mm,
But like you said, like gentle nudging, you know, uh,
mm,
it's really important to be gentle with each other, because, we're all dealing with
mm.
internal traumas and all kinds of stuff. But I'd love to do another one of these with you. If
Yes,
people
I
have
would love to.
questions,
Yeah.
we could go over some other things, and because it would be really good to talk about perimenopause, because most marriages end in perimenopause. So, there's a big subject to talk about there that most people don't realize. So,
I would
yeah.
love that. Okay, so we'll schedule for the next round.
Perfect. Let's do
Yes,
it.
let's do it. And
Hmm.
yes, so again, I wanted to say that I am so grateful for who you are. You are, uh, yeah, I'm just so
Oh,
grateful to have you as my friend. And
I love you, Kiko. Me too. Me too. So grateful.
and
Mm.
yeah, yeah, just enjoy your life again. Our message. Sorry, I have to keep on moving. Where do I go? Okay, back
Oh,
to
I
where.
know. That's what it's like. Actually, I would be in full sun right now if it wasn't a cloudy day here in Vegas, because right now at 3:11, that's when it's like full light. So, but we have an overcast day, so I'm good.
Okay,
Aw.
so yeah, we'll be back.
Mhm.
And I wanted to share. I need to. um, I need to eat. My brain is not quite working, but mm,
Yeah, we're gonna go out for groceries after this. We need
fantastic.
food. Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, thank you, Koala Mama and Mallory, and everyone else who watched and commented. We love connecting with you,
Mhm.
and I hope this helped. Yeah, what I wanted to say, I remember now that this is not just a romantic relationship. It
Mm.
goes. This is the same thing with friends that we choose. We need to evaluate every day we are choosing our loved one and our friendship. And I'm
Mhm.
so proud of myself to choose Lisa as my.
I likewise. I feel the exact same way about you. You're so beautiful and so wonderful, and so supportive, and yeah, we're lucky. We're blessed.
Yes, I'm so lucky.
We're so
We're so
lucky.
lucky. Oh,
Oh, love
I could
you.
even, yeah, the happy tear could come out. So
Oh.
yes, we'll be back again. And yeah, again, this is to help others. I hope that you realize that you're worth it.
Yes.
You're worth having the fantastic relationship everywhere you
Hmm.
go. So thank you again.
Exactly.
Thank you
Thank
again.
you.
I will be
Thank you,
back
everybody.
again.
Yes,
Bye.
we'll be back.
We'll be back. Thank
Bye.
you.